Well, hello there. Welcome to this video. And this video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to get a little bit psychological. And essentially, today's video is going to speak to our brains, right? And we need to appreciate whether you are a trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, mentor, or even just a human, even just a normal person, there's a possibility that in your life, maybe, just maybe, you may have had the thought of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, right? And in this video, I'm going to tread very lightly, but at the same time, I'm going to help you bust that paradigm of I'm not good enough. And maybe, I'm not going to say drop in the comments if you've ever felt like I'm not good enough, but essentially, we find if anyone's ever delved into the world of personal development or even not, and they've gone through life and they've had some self-doubts about some things, there's going to be that root belief there of I'm not good enough, right? Now, in this video, I want to tell you some things that you can use in order to bust that belief or that paradigm of I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, right? We need to understand our brain and how it works and psychology, right? Now, here's a couple of things, right? So as we travel through life, there is so many things that our brain is processing at any one time. And as part of that functionality, what the brain is constantly doing is deleting, distorting, and generalizing. It is deleting, distorting, and generalizing information that's coming at us, right? And we need to appreciate that our brain is doing the very best it can, but our brain's core functionality or core driver is survival. Survival. Its bare minimum is to make sure that we survive, right? Now, the thing is also in our brain, we never have or we don't have access to a button for enough. All right. We don't have the enough button. You can't push the enough button, right? So the whole belief about I'm not good enough is essentially something that's already there. It's always going to be there because we don't have the enough button, right? And simply awareness around that can transform your thinking already, right? I don't have an enough button due to survival. When we were, apes, or when we were, first starting out as males and females on the planet, we were always in survival mode. And that survival mode through evolution is still wired in there. We were always looking for enough food. We were wondering, am I going to survive or not, right? So here's the thing, folks. If we, first of all, become aware of that, we can suddenly start to go, oh, this feeling of I'm not enough, it's wired in there, right? And it's like I'm constantly wanting more. And that shows up in so many areas of our life, right? Always wanting more, right? It's wired in. So now, the other part of it is that in life, we live through incomplete sentences. We live through incomplete sentences. You may want to grab a pen and write that down. So the thing is, I am not good enough, but we often miss out the rest of the sentence, which is, I'm not good enough for what? I'm not good enough for what? I'm not good enough for speaking in front of 1,000 people. Or I'm not good enough for having a difficult conversation. Or I'm not good enough for X task. Or I'm not good enough for who? I'm not good enough for how. I'm not good enough for. You see, when we actually complete the rest of that sentence, whoa, that's where the power starts to show up. That's where we can become really empowered, right? Because if we could say, I'm not good enough for doing X, Y, Z, whoa, guess what? That then opens up the possibility to develop our skills in a particular area. There's nothing to fix about it. There's nothing to fix. You are already perfect as you are. But what we can always be doing is adding on new skill sets, adding on new beliefs, right? So I just want to encourage you to start to think about, where are you living incomplete sentences? So trust. I don't trust him. I don't trust her. Well, the incomplete sentence is, I don't trust him for doing X. I don't trust her for doing X, right? And when you actually complete the rest of the sentence, that's where the power opens up. I don't trust him to turn up on time. So what I need to do is X, right? And we live in these ambiguities, right? But when we actually complete the rest of the sentence, whoa, the power shows up, right? So this video is all about just asking yourself, I'm not good enough. But for what? I'm not good enough for being able to do X, Y, Z. Okay, cool. So there's your opportunity. I'm not good enough. I am not smart enough. For what? All right. And it's the for what that creates all the power for creating the change or putting in a brand new strategy to open up new possibilities, whether that's delegating, whether that's getting support, whether that is whatever it is, right? So I just want to encourage you, if you ever have that belief, I'm not good enough, which is a totally valid belief, right? Never beat on yourself for having a negative belief, because that's what we often find that we do. We spiral into the negative. Well, if we want to spiral upwards, well, we just finish the rest of our sentence, right? I'm not good enough for what? For who? All right. And if it's a for who, then in what ways are you not good enough for that person, right? So, on that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. As trainers, coaches, facilitators, mentors, public speakers, that view of I'm not good enough will always be there as long as we are looking to excel to the next level. Maybe it's I'm not good enough to write a book. Well, about what? Could be the rest of the sentence. I certainly, for me, when I first started writing my book, there was those thoughts that came up, but then I'm like, okay, I'm not good enough to write a book about X, and then finishes the rest of my sentence. And then if it required further research or further self-identification as to the areas that I really was strong in, you see, everything in life is incomplete sentences. When we finish those sentences, everything transforms. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. As always, like, comment, share. Let's get this message out there. And let's really bust through that belief of I'm not good enough. It's a really incomplete sentence. On that note, folks, hope you got some value. Like, comment, share. Let's get it out there. Thanks so much for watching, team. And as always, be your best. Support others to be their best. And let's really enjoy the training journey that we are on, knowing there is no such thing as a perfect trainer, perfect presentation, only the one that is really looking to go out there and impact our audience. Thanks for watching, team. We'll see you on the next one.